Hey, what's going on, Aquarius? Butch Taylor here. I'm going to do your 1 week read. It is a general read, so will not resonate with everyone. Take what resonates, leave the rest. It is for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and your Venus. For all you cross watchers, roles can be reversed. For all you that haven't seen it yet, on my community page, I'm doing a giveaway. I like to do them. So if you want to get in there and have a chance to win, good luck. And with that being said, let's get it. Here's what we have. Aquarius. What's going on for Aquarius? All right, Aquarius. So the first thing I see, Aquarius, is I feel like you may have multiple people on your mind, or you will, because I feel like there's options out there, and I feel like you may be in the place where you're exploring those options. Now, I do feel like one of the options that are in front of you or will be in front of you, it's going to be someone that you have a hard time getting a feel for them. You're having a hard time knowing what it is that they would want, or if they're even interested. Because we have a lot of, this person's very guarded, very defensive. They hold their heart close to their sleeve. I feel like they have a hard time letting anyone in, not just you, but just anyone. There's a lot of defensive energy around this person. I feel like they've been hurt before. I feel like this person has some burdens that they hold on to. And I feel like this is not going to be an easy task. But I feel like this person does have feelings for you. It's just going to be very hard to, it's going to take a lot of work to get this person to come out of their shell. It's going to be a lot of work. It isn't going to come easy. But I do see this person as someone that has a lot of love to give once you get past that inner wall. This is someone very nurturing, very caring, very giving. This is someone very intelligent. And I feel like because of the fact that they are intelligent, I feel like they have a tendency sometimes to overthink. And I feel like that's why they're so defensive, and that's why they put their walls up. It's very hard to get through those walls. But once you do, I feel like it will be worth all the effort. I see a lot of good fortune here. I see a lot of stability. I feel like this person's got their shit together, and it's almost like they have their shit together, and that's why it's even another reason why it's hard for them to let somebody in, because they have their shit together. They know how they got there. And to let anybody in, like I said, it's going to take some work, but I feel like it'd be worth the effort. I feel like at the end of the day, you will get what you want from this person. I see a strong power couple. I feel like once they let you in, it's like one of those, fancy underground clubs. It's hard to get in the first time, but once you get in and start becoming a regular, I mean, you're in. Once you get past the walls, it's like they have their kingdom built and they have their walls up and they don't allow anybody in. They don't let anybody in easily, because if they let somebody in, then once they let that person in, you're in their kingdom. You're in their pretty palace. And they don't want to just let anybody in because they're afraid somebody might come in and screw shit up. So they're very protective of it. Now that's one. The other one, I feel like you have more of a physical connection with that person. And I feel like that it's physical. But there's no longevity. This is the person I feel like they physically attract you in the way that that's all will be. There's no real expectation of it being longer. It's just kind of a hit it and quit it, casual experience you're going to have with this person. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to have fun. I'm not saying you're not going to enjoy it, because I feel like you will enjoy it. But this choice you have in front of you between these two people, it's going to be solely based on what you want, what you're looking for. If you're looking for something casual, something that's going to be hot and heavy, knock your socks off, this person's your person. But you're not going to get anything else from them, no matter how much effort you put in. Now, if you're looking for something long-term, something that you can build with, someone that you can have a lot of these passionate exchanges, someone that you can have an intelligent conversation with, and someone that actually is going to have, feelings for you, and someone that actually has a future planned that you can be a part of, you're going to want this first person. There's no stability. There's no new stability with that other person. It's just hot and heavy. That's it. And I feel like, honestly, what you're getting from that one person. I feel like you already know. The other person is the one that intrigues you because you feel like there's more. You feel like there could be more, but you're just not sure where they stand. Now, my advice, I'm always looking at the love side of things. I want everybody to find their person, someone they can have a future with, someone they can be happy with, someone they can, walk through life with. Now, I feel like the problem that I see here is choosing the hot and heavy one is going to break the tie that you may have with that other person. And I feel like it's going to be something that you may regret in the future. I do see some regret. But like I said, it's free will. It's depending on what you want in the situation now, what's best for you. But like I said, this hot and heavy, it's just open-ended. I feel like it is going to be something that's going to last for a while. Like I said, but I feel like it's going to be booty calls and just a physical connection. I mean, you may have a little bit of fun here and there with that person, but there's no longevity. This isn't going to last. Very karmic energy. I mean, and there may even be a slight relationship there. Maybe there will be more than just the physical. But there is no... I get a lot of karmic energy from that. I don't feel like there's a whole lot of... I don't see a positive end game there. Now, with that person, the hot and heavy, we'll call them, we have Fire, Aries, Leo. I don't feel Sagittarius. So we're going to say Aries, Leo. Some possibly some Cancer, some Scorpio. And I mean, we got some Earth and some air in there as well, so we'll throw that in there. But I feel like you're mostly going to be dealing with probably a fire sign, possibly, with some water, fire and air, or fire and earth in their chart. Now, with this other person, this person that has been guarded, and it's hard for you to pick up what they really want. I get a lot of fire, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, a lot of earth, Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. We got some air and some water, but like I said, I feel like you're mostly going to be dealing with a fire or an earth sign. And like I said, I mean, it's going to be work, but everything that's worth anything is work. But, I mean, you can do work and never get paid. But the work that this entails is going to pay off tenfold. And then, like I said, with the Wheel of Fortune, a lot of good fortune here. A lot of stability. Someone very intelligent. Someone that knows what they want. And they're not gonna substitute that for anything. I mean, they have some burdens. Like I said, I feel like they've been hurt before. They've been used before. So that's generally why they have their walls up. And why they have a hard time letting anybody in. But once you're in, you're in. And this is someone, like I said, they're very intelligent. They're well put together. They have a lot of love to give to that right person. Now, that's what I have for you. Like I said, it's all about free will. But I feel like at least one of these you already have on your mind, and the other one will come, very quickly, because I do see two people, you having to choose between two people. And I feel like the choice is here, and it's up to you which avenue you want to explore. Be good. Take care. Stay safe.